Hello! Today I'm going to show you how to make this traditional clothes error, or clothes horse as they used to be called. And it can be displayed open like this, or you can close it up and tuck it away in your doll's house kitchen. And for this project you'll need a 3x3mm strip wood. Now this is a beche, that's spelled O-B-E-C-H-E, but for this project you could use any type of wood, even a balsa strip, if you have that, would be suitable. And for the rungs, either a 2mm dowel or cocktail sticks. I also use cocktail sticks to apply the glue, and I dispense my glue onto just a piece of cereal packet card to make it easier to apply. The glue I use is Gorilla wood glue. You'll need some fabric to make the sort of hinges, and I've just used this sort of linen type fabric, but any sort of cotton in a pale colour will do. A pair of scissors to cut it. Then you'll need your craft knife. I used a mitre block and saw to cut my strip wood with. Nice sharp pencil, a steel rule and an eraser. I think that's everything you'll need. The cutting list is coming next, and then we'll get started. So if you're using cocktail sticks rather than dowel, I just wanted to show you a quick way to cut those to size. So begin by removing the tip from one end and cut as close as you can before the wood begins to sort of taper off, so you've got a nice straight edge. And it helps if you roll the cocktail stick along as you're cutting. That will help you cut through it. Get rid of that piece. And then line up the straight end against your rule and hold it in place, and then just place the knife above the measurement like that, and then you can move the ruler and then again begin to roll the cocktail stick along. We're now going to make pencil marks along the leg pieces, which will enable us to place the rungs evenly. So just lay the leg alongside the rule, and then I'll give you the measurements in millimetres first. So starting from what will now become the top edge, 6mm, 27mm, 48mm and 69mm. And in inches that is 1/4 of an inch, 1 1/16, 1 7/8 and 2 3/4, and the inch measurements I've just rounded to the nearest sort of whole measurement. Okay, so do that on the remaining legs. We're now going to round over the top of each leg, so the top is nearest to the highest pencil mark. So take a small piece of fine grade sandpaper and you just want to sweep it over the top of the leg from front to back to just gently round off the wood, and then turn it round, same again. See, that's just rounding off now. So do that on each side of the strip. Round over those corners as well. And there you've got a nice rounded top. So do that on the remaining legs. So take 2 of your leg pieces and 4 of the rungs and place them in the centre of the legs so that the pencil marks on the legs are facing towards you. And then I've just dispensed some glue here onto a piece of cereal packet card. I'm going to use a cocktail stick to apply it with. And you want to just do a tiny blob at the end of each rung. both ends, and just pop that back in the centre there. And then begin by attaching the rung first of all to this left hand leg, and so that it sits just above that pencil line. Press it into place, work your way down, and then bring in the right hand leg, ensuring that each rung remains above the pencil line. Just very carefully manoeuvre them into position, making sure as well that everything's flat against the worktop. This is another of those pieces that's very fragile until the glue has set, so just be very careful when you're pressing it all together. And then slide along your worktop rather than try and pick it up, and that piece can be left to dry, and then create two more pieces the same with your remaining pieces. Okay, so once you've allowed time for the glue to completely dry, erase the pencil marks from the legs just very carefully, and if you find that they're not erasing, it's probably because they've got glue over them, so you can just use your fine grade sandpaper to gently sand those off. Okay, I'm just going to put one section to one side, and from your fabric cut 4 strips measuring 6mm by 30mm, and that's 1/4 of an inch by 1 1/4 inches. And then we're going to attach the fabric just below this top rung and just below the bottom rung. So I'll start at the top and just apply glue the front of the leg and the inside, a bit too much on there, and then around the back. And the same down here. And then take a fabric strip, and you can lay the section onto it, and the bottom as well. Press that on, and then bring these flaps up and onto the front of the leg. Just stick them down. And when I was doing my practice run for this, impatient as ever, I didn't allow the glue to dry fully. And when I started doing this whole piece just fell apart, so you must make sure the glue is completely dry. If you've got another project you're working on, just leave these and go away and do something else for a while. And then you want to do exactly the same on the other section. Okay, so the idea of the strips, so that we can fold our clothes area up, is that the glue is just on these outer sections, and then the fabric will just be wrapped around this inner section and then glued back on the leg of these 2 outer sections. So this is actually just sort of sitting inside those loops with no glue. Okay, so place a cocktail stick alongside each of those outer sections, and this is just so we leave a small gap in between. And then place that section beside the first, against the cocktail stick, and then just going to put a bit of glue on top of that first piece of fabric. And then again pull this around, like that, and we'll glue that flap down once it's dried off a little bit. It is still quite fragile. And press that down, and then again on the opposite side. Make sure they're level. Okay, so now very carefully remove your cocktail sticks. You may just need to bend the sections together to get those out. I've got a pair of tweezers there, I thought I might need them, but I don't. And that one as well. And then we want to glue the remaining flaps of fabric down just onto the leg of this outer section. You can actually turn it over, apply glue to the fabric, and just stick that down. Making sure none of the sort of fat glue with the glue goes onto the inner section. The fabric with the glue on, I was trying to say. A bit down as well. And the final piece. And I just want to let that dry before giving it a test fold. And there is the completed clothes horse. So it can be displayed open like this, draped with clothes, or you can close that up, and that can then be tucked away somewhere in your doll's house kitchen. I hope you've enjoyed this project. If so, please subscribe to the channel, as I've got lots more to come. And if you enjoy making miniatures, you might like my new book, Making Doll's House Miniatures in 1/12 scale. And the book includes an entire section of miniatures for a laundry room, so you could perhaps make an ironing board and washing basket to go with your clothes area. The book's available from Amazon. I'll pop a couple of links below. And for now, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.